Hey guys, Casey here. Welcome back to Lions Den Investments and Reviews. In today's episode, I've got a lot of news to cover with you. Things are moving super fast. It is very hard to keep up, but it's very exciting at the same time. If we look at the charts right now, Bitcoin is turning back over again. It's heading down to 35,200. I've got a chart up here on Ethereum right now, and from a technical perspective, Ethereum looks like it's heading down as well. We've got a downtrend that's formed here on the very, very top. So I'll just do a little bit of technical analysis on Ethereum for right now, um, because that is the dominant altcoin, which controls a lot of the price movement and action on some of these other altcoins. So when you see Ethereum go up, altcoins will usually go up with it. If Ethereum goes down, then you'll get the altcoins going down in price, just because Ethereum is the second largest crypto next to Bitcoin. Guys, if you're new to the channel here and you haven't watched any of my videos, hit the subscribe button, tap that like button as well. If you like the content that you're hearing, it helps the YouTube algorithm. And also we are approaching 1,000 subscribers right now, which would be a landmark victory like for this channel. So the more I can get you guys to interact with me and engage on this content, the better. And it again helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I greatly appreciate all you guys tuning in here and listening to what I have to say. So, anyways, with that said, let's get going here again on the technical analysis. Um, you can see we had a weekly support going up here on Ethereum, and we broke support back here on January 10th. Okay, the price fell a lot lower, and then we rebounded, and you can see as we rebounded, that weekly support turned into weekly resistance, and so now it acts as a ceiling pushing the price down. You can see we retested it once here, and then we came back up and retested again, and now we're rolling back over. So we had a basically what we've got here is a lower high on Ethereum, and I would expect that we're probably going to rebound again, and we'll just test this new downtrend here until we break through that. Okay, so I would expect over the next week you're going to get some price variations in altcoins, and it's just going to kind of bounce around in a range zone, so to speak. So just be patient. If you guys are looking to invest in altcoins right now, I would have some cash on the side, and wait for a buying opportunity, see what the price does here, because we've got a bottom on a Ethereum here right around $965. So if we can stay within that range of $965 on up to where we are here at about 1230, I think you'll be okay. But that 965 is a key price support level. If we break that, we're heading lower. The other thing I want to talk about here, switching topics a little bit, I want to cover another project here. It's called Digibyte, and I just want to touch on a few brief things with Digibyte. Digibyte, guys, it's one of my investments, one of my projects that I really, really like. It is the oldest blockchain created outside of Bitcoin, okay? And yes, I am looking at some notes here because I don't want to miss anything. So I wrote some things down here on Digibyte that I think you should be aware of, because I think this project is massively undervalued right now when it comes to just the price and the value that is offered through the blockchain on Digibyte. So it is the oldest blockchain created outside of Bitcoin. It's 40 times faster than Bitcoin. It was deemed a currency, so you don't have to worry about the SEC coming after it, because it's up there with Ethereum and Bitcoin, which are also deemed currencies. Good thing to know. The use case behind it is multi-data security and utility use case. Okay, um, really cool stuff, because the government of the UK is actually implementing Digibyte through a lot of the corporate agencies that they have for security purposes. Um, it's also undervalued 1,500 times lower than Bitcoin's market cap. All right. In the last bull run, we went from 1.5 cents to 13 cents in less than 30 days. And guys, if you're hearing some bells jingling in the background, it's because I have my dogs in here with me, and they love to scratch. So uh, if you hear anything like that and you're going, man, what is that noise? That's my dogs. So just disregard that. I apologize. Um, so again, this bull run based on current price of Bitcoin and Bitcoin market cap compared to Digibyte's market cap price targets here could be around 20 cents or higher conservatively. And again, that's based on current price of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin market cap compared to Digibyte's market cap. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below because I got to give credit where credit's due here. If you want to know the math behind that and how we're coming up with this figure, check out Economic Ninja. He did a great job explaining this. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go see that for yourself, where he breaks down the math behind these numbers. Um, so that's Digibyte, great project. Check it out. You can go to my website too, Academy of Crypto. Go to the blockchain projects, and I have a link there that'll take you to their website, or you can go to coinmarketcap.com and get to the website for Digibyte as well, so you can read up on the white paper and what they're doing right now. So that brings me to the next thing here, which is the news, the fundamentals here behind the blockchain space right now. I've got one here. It's really interesting, and you may have heard of this already, but it's Anchorage. They became the first OCC-approved national crypto bank just a few days ago. Okay, the crypto industry has its first federally chartered bank, Anchorage, um, and this is great because guess what? You're going to get a lot more of this to follow throughout this bull run. More central banks and banks in general getting on board and integrating with the blockchain for cross-border payments. Okay, I'm not really going to go over in detail, what this article talks about here because it's pretty much, I mean, the title says it, just to save you time. So if you want to read that, I'll leave that in the description below. But let's move over here to Coinbase. Okay, Coinbase. Here's another one. Coinbase wants to list your crypto assets. All right, now this is big because I'm an investor in Theta, and for those of you who hold Theta, we've been waiting for a listing on Coinbase for months now, and they keep talking about that they're gonna potentially list Theta on the Coinbase exchange, and this is just giving you proof here that that opportunity for us as investors in Theta is probably just right around the corner here. They said their directive is to list every compliant asset possible. So they are on the move here, guys. And it's about time, too, because Coinbase needs to be able to compete with Kraken and some of these other exchanges who've got many more options when it comes to purchasing cryptos. You know, they said in a move that could rapidly broaden the number of cryptocurrencies listed, Coinbase announced Thursday a new issuance portal called Asset Hub. Today, Coinbase supports trading for over 40 crypto assets on our exchange, and Coinbase custody supports over 90 crypto assets. The firm's chief product officer, God, I can't even pronounce his name, and I don't want to butcher it, but I'll give it a try here. Surjit Chatterjee wrote in a blog post, "Our directive is to list every compliant asset possible. Streamlining the listing process is a step one. Any asset issuer can apply." Coinbase said applicants then can go through the process and either get approved or denied. Okay, so they do have a process that they go through and things that they look for on projects, mainly because they're getting ready to IPO. And being that they're IPOing, they don't want to get involved with a lot of these lawsuits and stuff like that, like what you're seeing with Ripple. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much more of the article here just for the sake of time, keeping things short and brief for you, but I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. But moving on here and transitioning, I was talking about lawsuits with Ripple, right? So let's get into that for a minute, because that's the other thing I want to talk about here. Uh, the SEC acting enforcement director, okay, behind the Ripple lawsuit, this guy's name, and I'm taking notes here on this too so I don't miss it. His name is Mark P. Berger. Guys, he is stepping down, okay? Now, who's taking over for him? I'm not quite sure yet. I know that Gary Gensler is the new chair of the SEC, who has been appointed to oversee the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission there. And what I know about Gary Gensler, guys, this guy is very, very pro crypto. Okay, which is good because that's what we need in order to get the rollout here into this new digital system or financial system, globally. And so far, it's been kind of a slow process. I think they're trying to speed this up now because they know that their days are numbered when it comes to having liquidity for the banks and dealing with the traditional markets and monetary policy from the central banks. Because right now, if you've been watching some of my videos, I've been talking about how we keep printing up money, to oblivion. And inflation, when it comes to printing money and you got more money in circulation, the inflation really is not a big issue until you get economic and political unrest. Then you have to worry about inflation. And right now, we are right there. And I think it's got a lot of these guys spooked when it comes to the central banks. I mean, you've heard Christine Lagarde from the IMF talk about over the past year that a lot of these countries and central banks, GDP, for instance, for countries is going to start contracting big time, like, in the tunes of like 10% for an entire country's GDP. So these are really, really big concerns for these guys. They got to get us moved over into this financial system like now, like yesterday. I mean, they're a little behind the curve here still, especially when it comes to competing with China. We won't get into that because that, you could go shoot another video for 20, 30 minutes just on that. But yeah, a lot of news, guys, a lot of exciting stuff going on. Again, I'll leave a link in the description so you can read this article as well. But I'm looking forward to a lot more listings and access to more cryptos on Coinbase here moving forward. Probably within the next, I would say, like 4 to 5 months. Okay, while we're in this bull run, that's going to allow a lot of cash coming into Coinbase, which is one of your largest crypto exchanges out there on planet Earth. And it's going to allow a lot of cash from traditional investors who usually aren't, in tune with blockchain and all these different projects. Just maybe like your grandma and grandpa who have a 401k. It's going to allow them to invest in the stock, Coinbase, right? So you're going to get a lot of revenue being generated from the stock with Coinbase, which then could help them facilitate listings and implement listings for new coins. And then you've got a whole, new money basically coming into Coinbase and into these other altcoins, which is going to, jack the prices up significantly for those as well. So that's all I have for today's video. The other thing I wanted to say is, guys, if you haven't checked this out yet and you want to learn more about blockchain, I just enrolled in a class for a certification as an Ethereum expert. If you don't know, some of my background was in IT cybersecurity. I used to work for the government. I spent 7 years in IT. I also was a data center network engineer for a bank for a couple of years, and then I did some work for a company that handles like the websites for all your 50 states and state and local government. So like Kansas.gov, Missouri.gov, those websites I helped host on the back end of those. So I've got some extensive experience in IT, and that kind of led me into blockchain back when Bitcoin had its inception. But I continually learn and try to increase my skill sets in blockchain because that's the future of business. Okay, and I always talk about you want to pivot. So what I've done is I enrolled in a class to get certified as an Ethereum expert, and I'm starting to write my first contracts, for my first smart contracts, and deploy them onto the development environment for Ethereum, so I can get more familiar with that. But if you want to know more about that kind of stuff, you want to learn about blockchain, you can go to the Blockchain Council. Okay, this is the international standard for teaching folks about blockchain, and you can get certified on there for several different things. So I just want to throw that out there for you because, at the end of the day, guys, again, it's about improving your skill sets, and that can lead to more income for yourself. It can allow you to pivot into this new system that we're in, because a lot of corporations are going to be moving on to it as well. I would say sometime probably around like 2024, that's when you'll see the mainstream adoption from corporate America. Right now, we're just going through the institutional investing, so the big banks are starting to get on board, and then you've got the retail on top of that, the retail investors. So um, exciting times, really. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, fear nothing, okay? Because you're going to see some prices go up and down here. And like I said, right now we've got Ethereum. Let me pull Ethereum back up here. We've got Ethereum hitting an all-time high here of about, well, not an all-time high, but a lower high of 1,236, and we're turning around right now and we're heading lower. And I would expect we're just going to retest that downtrend until we break it, and then we'll head higher. But when those prices are falling like that, um, fear nothing. Okay, have no fear. That's one thing they want to do right now is try to spook you out of the market so they can buy all this up. Because as I said before, these central banks want these assets that you own. So, anyways, that's all I've got for today. I'll be live streaming on Theta TV today around afternoon. So if you're not familiar with Theta TV, I'll leave a link in the description for that too. You can go over there, check me out on Theta TV, and that's part of the Theta blockchain and project that they've got going with Theta. But with that said, guys, fear nothing, my friends. Until next time, I will see you later.